Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm here to talk about the 100, episode 410, titled Die All Die Merrily, which premiered Wednesday, May 3rd, 2017 on the CW. Guys, it's roughly 20 minutes after the episode has aired for me. So with that all said, huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, go do so first, and then come back to see what I have to say about the episode. My other video reminders are up on screen right now. And with all that said, let's start with the 10-minute clock and let's begin with what happened in this episode. So timeline-wise, guys, it's the next day since where episode 409 left off, leaving 3 days left until the death wave is supposed to hit. Episode reminder is the fact that we get the conclave fight. And the objective is this fight is supposed to declare who gets the claim over the commander's bunker. Now, the episode breakdown, there's really only the one, and there was the fact that the episode was hugely focused around the conclave fight in Polis. So with the conclave fight, we see champions of the 13 clans, including Rowan for Asgada, Ilian for Trishana crew, Luna for Flo crew, and she's the last survivor of her people, so she is fighting for death. If she wins, no one gets the bunker, so she's kind of like the enemy of them all. And then Octavia for Sky crew, though it was revealed later on that's not who she was fighting for. So anyways, during the whole fight though, we see Bellamy going into the battlefield, which is the city, to stop Echo from rigging the competition by taking out people unexpectedly. And because of this, Rowan catches them fighting, and he learns of Echo's dishonor, and he banishes her from Asgada. So there's that. So in the end, though, Octavia wins, and she declares the bunker not just for Sky Crew, but she fought for the survival of them all, and she wants to use the bunker equally among the clans. But however, that's not the case, as the last moment of the episode shows Bellamy waking up inside of the Sacred Dawn bunker and realizing that it was Clark's plan to claim the bunker for themselves while the conclave was in the dark. So the doors are already sealed. While the conclave was going on. Officially sealed after Bellamy was drugged and brought back in for safety. Kane was in the dark about this. He had no idea. Octavia had no idea. So now all the clans who are now united behind Octavia have now pretty much declared Sky Crew as their enemy because of a move that Clark had put into motion. So with that said, tidbits though, Jaha revealed that it was Clark's plan to take over the bunker while the conclave was going on. Another thing was that Lincoln was brought up many times by Octavia, Luna, and Indra throughout the episode. So mentions of what kind of person he was, how he trained Octavia, and just what he would rather fight for and stuff like that. And then we also see Miller inside the bunker organizing the Arcadians inside. There's 400 people in there, and he's trying to get them to their new quarters and get them to explore their new space. Now, with 400 people in there, we know that 1,200 people could stay inside the bunker. So only 400, that's what, 800 empty spaces? I mean, is that because they plan on for the future when they want to repopulate again? Or did they really just not want to bring any other outsiders in? So there's that as well. Ship status though, guys, this is so heartbreaking because we saw many people go, and one ship ended today, and that is Octavia and Ilion, over when she gave him a mercy death after he got an arrow in the neck by Echo. So no more Octavia and Ilion, and they were growing on me. I was rooting for them, so I'm a little disappointed for that. Also, we see the end of Rowan's alliance with Clark and with Bellamy, because Rowan died in this episode by Luna's hands. I'm a huge fan of any partnership between Clark and Rowan, and the fact that I'm a huge Bellark fan, I'm always excited whenever Rowan and Bellamy get along. So Rowan's death kind of ends any possibility of any of those ships happening, or partnerships happening. So there's that. Now moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I have to say it was Clark's ultimate move at the very end, which was pretty much her betrayal. She snuck Arcadia into the bunker and claimed it for themselves before the conclave was officially theirs, or before they even had a verdict on who had the rightful claim for it. And what's really surprising was the fact that Clark was telling Rowan about her difference of wanting humanity to survive, even if it's not her own people, and she just wants someone to survive. And yet here she does, pulling the stunt and making sure that its her own people survive, whether or not Octavia won the conclave or not. So it's a pretty deceptive move by Clark. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. But could you imagine if Rowan was alive and he found out about this? Oh, any partnership between him and Clark would have been dissolved right there on the, because he can't take her word for it. So there's that. But unless Clark made that comment to Rowan so that he had the seed planted that he needed to team up with Octavia or team up with anyone to take down Luna so that she doesn't stop anyone from surviving. So there's that. Moving on to top 3 favorite moments. My first one has to be, for sure, Octavia overhearing Bellamy's belief in her abilities to survive the conclave to Rowan. He made these convictions that she will survive and she will be the one to kill Rowan to Rowan. And it's, if in that moment, it was great to see Bellamy's confidence in his sister, but to see Octavia's reaction to his words, it was like it's what she needed to hear from him. It's like it's that reassurance that kind of gave her that extra boost and that extra confidence she needed in such a dire time. So I really liked that. It was great to see that she got to hear those moments, since their official final moments together weren't really that great. So there's that. Another favorite of mine has to be Octavia's speech after she won the conclave, and it was her speech explaining that she wants the bunker to be used equally by every clan, so that they're all equal, they're all one clan. And it really gave me the sense of what would have been like if Octavia was the new commander. I think she'd rule things fairly. If not, she would keep things harsh and simple and like rule by the way that she learned type thing, giving no shit about anyone's bullshit if it were. But I really liked how she stepped up in that moment, how she took a stand, and how she united everyone in that council room to stand together as one clan after they just fought to the death for their own clan's survival, in a sense. So I really liked it. Octavia really impressed me. She definitely shone in whichever word it is. She definitely came out on top in all ways possible in this episode, theoretically speaking. Anyways, a third favorite moment of mine was the fact that Rowan wanted to align himself with Octavia. He didn't immediately kill her, especially when he even said that she betrayed his trust by lying about the flame. And instead of killing her for it, he tells her we need to align ourselves to fight against Luna. And then afterwards, when she's done and taken care of, it would be the best warrior wins between them. So it was really great that Rowan even allowed the opportunity to align with Octavia. And then when the black rain started to fall, Octavia told Rowan to run, but him and Luna they needed a fight to the finish between the two, who was the better warrior, and they needed to find out, and it was Luna. So even if Rowan had managed to walk away from that fight with Luna, the effects the black rain caused him would have definitely killed him slowly at some point. So there's that. Now, moving on to top 3 peeved moments. Pretty much the first 2 are the deaths that we got to see. I didn't like the fact that Ilion died. I was prepared for it, since it was a fight to the death and he was entered in it against Octavia. I mean, Octavia needs to survive in order for Arcadia to survive, because our story's kind of with Arcadia. So in order for the show to continue, we got to see them continue. So I was kind of prepared for Ilion's death, but when it actually happened and the way it happened, I still wasn't prepared for it like I thought I was. It definitely had a few tears showing for that. And then which moves on to Rowan's death, which is another peeve I didn't like. Because again, I wanted him to survive, but with Octavia somehow. Some type of alliance, some type of something that they could barter their way out of it. But because of the setup, I knew that the huge possibility that a lot of our familiar faces were going to die. And we did see that in that episode. We got the death of Ilion, we got the death of Rowan, we got the death of Luna as well. So all to ensure that Octavia survived, so that we could see the continuation of Arcadia survive, despite knowing about Clark's betrayal, which is my third peeve that comes up in this episode, is the fact that Clark's betrayal, I know, is going to backfire, because now that Octavia has united all the clans, they now view Sky Crew, who has locked themselves in the bunker, as their enemy. And that is because of Clark's impatience to wait to see who won the conclave. And making that unauthorized step has now put them in it's pretty much isolated them and has made them so many enemies so quickly, when Octavia had quickly just gave them so many allies, essentially. So that's a peeve of mine. Yes, desperate times calls for desperate measures, but Clark's betrayal kind of brings questions on where her faith was towards, which I'll bring back in just a moment. But moving on to what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode? Huge conclave fight. That's pretty much the only focus of this episode. So there is that. So random questions. Going back to what I was talking about with Clark. So what was it Clark's plan all along to have Kane or Octavia sacrificed and left on the outside? Because she got someone to retrieve Bellamy and bring him back into the bunker before they sealed it off. But yet Kane had no idea about the move, Octavia had no idea about the move, and they're locked outside. So was it always Clark's plan to leave them on the outside to be sacrificed? Or did she think that they would be killed? Or did she think that Octavia wasn't going to survive the conclave, therefore whatever happened to her wouldn't matter? And then Kane was the last man that they had to be left behind to sell her cover story? I mean, how did Clark even think Bellamy would react to this, with the possibility of his sister, dead or not, being left outside of the bunker's safety without him? I mean, it kind of shows that Clark making this move kind of showed that she had no faith in Octavia's ability to win the conclave for them, and she just went ahead with it. So it's like, while I understand the desperation to save her people, it's really painting her bad and into a corner right now, because now Bellamy's going to be pissed, because he's going to do whatever he can to save his sister, because he has no idea if she won the conclave or not to begin with. No one in the bunker knows that technically Octavia won for them. And then also the fact that all the United Clans are now going to be gunning to get that door open and pretty much kill Sky Crew for betraying them and getting the bunker for the original 12 clans. So it's going to be tricky, that's for sure. But let's moving on to predictions very quickly. Based off the promo for 411, it shows that Sky Crew has locked themselves inside the bunker. Bellamy is trying to get back to Octavia, who is locked outside. Radiation levels have reached critical at this point. Opening the doors would not only bring in the radiation into them, but it will also bring all the threats against them that now the United Clans are facing for them. But it also looks like people from the inside of the bunker are banging on the doors to the outside. Don't know why that is. Maybe there's a leak inside and they're trying to get out in some way. But it's not looking good. But then at the very last moment of the promo, it shows Clark holding a gun to Bellamy as he tries to open the door. And he goes, "What are you doing?" And while the gun's pointed at him, she goes, "What I have to do." So this moment right here has me thinking back to season 2 premiere, back in Mount Weather, when Clark was about to open the door to the outside, and Clark is asking her, what is she doing? So instead, Clark is now in Jasper's position, Bellamy is in Clark's old position, and it's really turned the tides. And what is Clark going to do? Is she going to actually remember that I used to be in this position? What the hell am I going to do now? And also, it's Bellamy. It's her second in command. She can't fault him for wanting to get back to his sister or to get his sister to safety, or even wanting to know what happened to his sister. But then at the same time, she can't kill her second in command after everything that they've been through and everything. So anyways, based off the synopsis for 411, the episode is actually directed by Henry Ian Cusack, aka Kane. So he's directing the episode, but the synopsis reads that Clark faces the consequences of her fateful choice. So that's pretty vague, but that means a whole bunch of things could happen though. But it's also saying that Bellamy is set to appear, Abby, Octavia, Jasper, Raven, Monty, Murphy, Rowan, Jaha, and Kane are also supposed to set to appear. So there is that. I mentioned Rowan, which has me questioning how is he going to appear when he was killed in this episode. So unless we're going to see him in a different form, an hallucination, a dream of some sort, I don't know. But I'm glad we still get to see him, because I'm disappointed that he died. So there's that. Alright, and any questions or predictions coming off of all this that we just learned about 411? Well, it looks like a riot against Sky Crew leaves them trapped in the bunker regardless. If they leave, the clans are going to try to kill them in retaliation for their betrayal. And then there's also the fact that they're going to want to swarm for the bunker. So whether they want to leave the bunker or not, they can't. and that's not because of the radiation. So there's that. And also has me questioning what was the actual plan for Kane and Octavia. Were they always meant to be locked outside? Was there another way for Arcadia to retrieve Kane at a later time? Or were they just meant to be sacrificed to give off the illusion that they went behind their commander's back? Since Kane is technically their official leader of Arcadia, the official chancellor, if you will, even though Clark's kind of calling the shots behind his back. So there's that. Also, I really hope, I swear to God, if Clark has to kill Bellamy, I'm going to be severely pissed. My Bellark heart will be outraged because I seriously want them together. I don't want I don't want all these almost moments or any type of scenes I can interpret as Bellark scenes or misinterpret them as Bellark scenes. I want actual canon proof that Bellark would happen. And if she has to kill him, I'm going to be pissed because this is a partnership that I have grown to love. And to see it go would just be a huge shock to my system. So there's that. And that's all I have to say about the episode. What do you guys think about it? What do you guys like about it? And what do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your own thoughts, theories, predictions about all that. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place. So go check it out and follow me there. I still need to update it. I'm a little behind on that, though. But once I am, it's all found in one place. And it's pretty organized, but you can also check out my WordPress account. The link for that is down below. Everything I post online is pretty much connected to my WordPress. And it's a little more organized, but it's a work in progress, so keep that in mind. But I do hope you give it a shot. Otherwise, that's about it, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you come back next week to hear what I have to say about the next episode. We're almost at the season finale. I think it's just 3 more episodes left. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.